And the third action will be when the user clicks the click me button to find out whether the entered pin is right or wrong. So let's define that. IP action, and I'll call it click me button clicked, and again that will be by the sender. Command S. Now before moving on to the interface builder to connect up these actions and outlets, I'll implement these defined actions in the implementation file. So let's copy this and see, move on to the interface implementation file, and copy it here. Take out the semicolon. So that's the three actions almost implemented in the implementation file. Now we need to move on to the interface builder so as to connect the outlets and the actions. So let's do that. Let's save this, go back to the interface builder, right click my file's owner, so you'll see your outlets here. So let's connect your name to the name text box, your pin field, the pin field text box, your enter pin button clicked to all the four buttons. So that will be number 1, touch up inside, number 2, again touch up inside, number 3, touch up inside, and number 4, touch up inside. Now you must have observed that I used the same action for all the 4 buttons, pin buttons, because that's what we are going to do. We are going to use the same action whenever the user clicks any of these pin buttons. Let's see. And there are 2 more pins so the 2 more buttons we need to connect. So let's do that also. Clear pin button clicked to clear pin button, touch up inside, and click me button, touch up inside. So we have connected all our outlets and actions. Let's save that file, save, and now let's go back to Xcode and implement our actions. Now when the user enters a pin in the pin text box, that pin needs to be stored as a string. So we need to define an instance variable which will store the pin entered by the user. Let's do that first. So going back to the .h file, I'm defining another instance variable. This time it's a ns mutable string. And the pointer to it will be your pin. We also need to set properties for this new instance variable. So let's copy this, paste it, this again and paste it. Oh, we got a typo here. NS mutable string. Save it. We again need to synthesize this new variable and release it. So let's go to .m, synthesize your pin, and we need to release that over here. Your pin, please. So there you go. We have defined our outlets, actions, and also a string which will hold our pin entered. But we still have to define our actions. Before we move on to the actions, let's initiate our string when the view loads. So let's go to the view did load actions in the .m file. Should be over here. Over here, and take out the comments. Right, now here we are going to initiate our mutable string. So the pointer to our string, that is your pin, equals ns mutable string. Send the hello message to ns mutable string class and initialize with capacity 1. So we have initialized our pin, our pointer to the ns mutable string. Now let's go back to the 3 actions, and we need to implement those 3 actions. So the first action is when the user enters the pin. So when the user enters the pin and clicks the enter pin button, what action should take? The first action would be to append that pin, get that pin from the pin text field, and store it in the mutable string, ns mutable string. So let's do that. So we are appending the pin from the pin text box your pin append string sender title for state UI control state normal. So we are appending the pin from the text box field and giving it to your pin, which is a pointer to ns mutable string. So let's do that here. Your pin field dot text will be given to your pin, which is a pointer to ns mutable string. This is not a message, right? So that defines our action for when the user enters, when user clicks the pin button. Now let's define what happens when the user clicks the clear pin button. So when the user clicks the clear pin button, first of all, the pin that has been entered in the pin text field needs to be cleared, and also the pin that's stored in the NS mutable string needs to be cleared.